Hello and welcome to our Batman vs Superman spoiler review. I'm here with the usual Rob and Dave and myself, and
Hey!
we've just got back from the midnight screening of Batman vs Superman. So we'll just clarify straight away. Me and Dave watched it in 2D. Rob actually watched it in 3D, yeah.
Because we're not basically.
Yeah, and he paid the extra £1.
Yeah. It's terrible. I don't like 3D.
It wasn't
We're
worth
going to get
it.
onto the sort of the cinema rules though, but I hate 3D. It seems
Yeah,
stupid.
I'm not a big fan of 3D. We've just got back for it, so it's fresh in our minds. We got back from it 9 minutes ago, which is ridiculous.
It's 3:09 in the morning.
Yeah, UK time.
Commitment from the podcast.
GMT. I didn't want to do this. I'd like to.
No, we forced Dave to do it. He's currently in handcuffs. So let's start overall, right?
Initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts, go.
I came out of it fucking hating it.
Really?
I think me and Dave are quite similar. I quite enjoyed it. I mean,
really enjoyed it.
It's definitely got its weak parts, but do you know the Metacritic of it is 33%?
Jesus.
It's only just come out though.
Yeah, but that's the first wave of reviews.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those people are kind of hating it just before they've even seen it, though.
So it has a critic score of 33%.
Yeah.
Sharknado has 82%.
Yeah, but that's...
Sharknado, the only reason they've done that is for the banter.
Well, the fan score for the critic score for Sharknado, I think it's the fan score for Sharknado is 33%, and then Batman vs Superman has got a fan score of 82%. It currently holds a 44 Metacritic review rate, and it's not done. To be fair, the majority of reviews are quite bad. So let's just say these two, Dave and Rob, went in without any information.
Did you watch the trailer?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Unfortunately, I went in with a few and a spoiler. I did.
Did you know he was going to die?
No.
Oh, before we continue, there is going to be spoilers.
Yeah, there is.
It's going to be in title though. There's going to be in title. It's going to be big letters, spoilers.
So did you two watch the trailers?
Obviously.
I watched the trailers and then just suddenly realised about 2 hours into the film, and then
You've seen it, yeah.
I basically got to see the film.
Yeah, I mean, the inclusion of Doomsday in the trailer is ridiculous. The
completely stupid.
The inclusion of Wonder Woman, it's just ridiculous because it doesn't add any emotional impact whatsoever.
The funny thing is, as well, the trailer was just as vague about how Wonder Woman got introduced into the story as the film was.
Yeah. Unfortunately, on Twitter, I think it was about 2 hours before I went into the film, there is an article up of Zack Snyder explaining why Batman breaks his one rule. Batman's one rule is...
Don't kill.
And Batman, throughout this film, stacks up a big body count. I don't know if you were watching.
Yeah, I know. But
he is ruthless in that film.
I knew that before I went in.
First thing he does, he's just like spraying all these people down, like taking the guns off them, and he goes in there with a fucking gun in his back as well.
Yeah, and also the opening of this film is the exact story you've seen Tim Burton do.
Don't need it.
Christopher Nolan do.
Don't need it.
Doesn't need to be done. How there is a scene, I'll describe it for you because you've probably seen it if you're watching this. If not, go watch it. So the spoilers start now.
Well, we've already said Superman's dead.
No, you didn't say Superman's
dead.
You didn't say
someone
died.
Did you know he died? It could have been Lex Luthor, it could have been Batman, it could have been Alfred.
Yeah.
And now you've ruined it.
Well, I said it after the spoiler thing, so hopefully I'll quick on the fingers, fast draw.
Well, the opening is young Bruce Wayne going to the funeral of his parents.
I'd like to mention, by the way, that how many times do we have to see Bruce Wayne's parents die?
Countless, apparently.
We
millions.
He's a bit sad about it.
But could you imagine, you're an actor and your agent comes up to you and he goes like, "I've got your part in the new Batman vs Superman movie." And he's like, "Oh, sick! What have I got?" And he goes, Martha Wayne. And he's like, "Oh, so I die in the first 5 minutes."
Yeah, I mean, they're actually played by Thomas Dean Morgan.
I don't remember.
Dean Thomas Morgan, who played the comedian Watchmen, and she's actually Maggie in Walking Dead.
Right.
I think it's Thomas Dean Jeffrey, that's his name, I'm not too sure, but he's a...
I saw him at first and thought it was Colin Farrell, because I saw a glance of his face, but it wasn't Colin
I mean, he was actually considered for Batman's role.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Zack Snyder regular.
Nah, mate, you've got to have Ben Affleck in that role. Ben Affleck...
Yeah, Ben Affleck is fantastic.
He's in his Clooney years now.
Yeah, I liked him.
I
think he could have done better with better scripts, potentially, but I think he made the character his own anyway.
Yeah.
Well, he actually rewrote the script, didn't he?
Yeah, well, Kevin Smith apparently rewrote it, but leaked them to the internet, so no one knew There's 5 leaked scripts got leaked, and Kevin Smith apparently did 5 of them.
Yeah.
So for Ben Affleck as a favour. But I think I'd just like to clarify that I think this is a bold statement. I think Ben Affleck in the 2 hours and 30 minutes on that screen incorporated.
He made it his film.
I think he incorporated the grief that Batman took 3 films for Christopher Nolan's Batman to take.
Okay, that's.
I think that the grey hairs on Ben Affleck's head were truly from the role. I think that Christian Bale, I think he played Batman well, but never played Bruce Wayne very well. And I think there's definitely more Bruce Wayne in these films. Definitely more Bruce Wayne. And I really enjoy Ben Affleck's portrayal of it. I think that's the standout.
We're talking about betrayals though. There's a big controversial addition to this film with Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor because everyone initially thought.
Well, how about you tell your opinion first, and I'll say mine, and Dave can say his. Yeah. Go on then.
What, am I going first?
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved Jesse Eisenberg. As soon as I saw it got casted, I loved it because from what his role was in Social Network, I just thought he's going to be like that, but a little bit more evil and a little bit more bold.
Okay, I think he's too skinny, and obviously, that's not my entire hatred of him. I didn't hate him either. I didn't hate him. I think I hated Superman more in this film because I don't like Superman as a character. But we'll get into that later. Lex Luthor, didn't think he was well written enough. Just kind of seemed to be there to kind of work the cog a bit. I didn't think any of his scenes stood out. I thought a lot of his lines felt a bit forced and I didn't like it really. Didn't like a lot of his lines.
Well, I take both of your opinions as one. I thought he was really good as it. I felt that he was a bit shoehorned into certain scenes. I thought to be the master of all this deadly sin that he makes.
The first scene you see him is him fucking shooting a basketball.
I like that though. I think Jesse Eisenberg is good as a character. He's not old enough to play that role.
No,
he's way too young to play that role. And like you said, the shaving head part, I think I thought the Doomsday's explosion would have caused that.
Yeah.
So then he would obviously hate Superman more. But the fact that it's not bold like Gene Hackman's Luthor portrayal, and that really let it down.
The thing is as well, I saw screenshots of obviously they released images of him bald, didn't they, before the film was released.
On Entertainment Weekly, yeah.
And I spent the entire film waiting for this kind of change in his character where he goes bold and he goes a bit more mean.
Yeah, I don't think it ever came. Yeah,
never came.
I just have a feeling that Ben Affleck wrote quite a lot of his dialogue.
Yeah,
because it's quite quick. I don't think Zack Snyder's got that. I mean, if David S. Goyer had anything to do with this, then that's probably the reason why it's a shit script.
Yeah.
David S. Goyer went on record a few years ago saying that this film was unfilmable, and I think to some degree, I think Zack Snyder's proven him wrong. Do I think Zack Snyder should have directed it? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think it's the closest you'll get to an R-rated Batman film you'll see that's not Watchmen. I felt his direction in Watchmen was excellent because he was gritty. The R-rated cut of this on Blu-ray, the 3-hour-long version, I'm hoping for something big there because I think there's a few scenes where they shy away.
I think Batman, especially Ben Affleck's Batman, he could fucking thrive in that. Definitely.
I mean, I think what they'll do in Ben Affleck's spin-off film, I think they'll sort of counter the argument of why he kills. I think that he's just become ruthless because
he's gone old. He got older. He doesn't give a shit anymore.
I mean, he's been fighting for 20 years. Alfred. I mean, it's not Michael Exposition Kane in this film. Alfred actually has. He's not. I would have liked to seen Alfred in more of the scenes.
He's more of a. I agree because he has more of a dynamic to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
As a person.
What did you think?
Jeremy Irons said, didn't he, that in an interview that he's not. There's a different. This Alfred's different to the ones before. He's not a butler. He's a bodyguard.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so he seems like a little bit more robust. He should really. He's not as old as Michael Caine.
He doesn't seem as frail. He seems like he's got more.
Well, he's in the army uniform or armoured police uniform when he's taking over the jet.
Something I always thought of Michael Caine is he kind of just seemed like the old man who was like
very vulnerable.
Batman.
I always felt quite bad when I watched those movies and Michael Caine was butler and.
Yeah.
Well, give him a break, mate. Look at him. He's going to die.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alfred's probably taught Bruce a few lessons, but I don't like the fact that, I mean, it's very difficult to do an origin film and not obviously express all this shit about Batman being Batman and how he became Batman.
Yeah. I think that was good.
If we're talking about Batman, I mean, let's get on to Superman. Like you've already said, you hated the portrayal of him.
I think this is a bold fucking claim, and I think you might disagree with me. I think he should have died halfway through the film. If they were going to kill him, I think he should have died halfway through the film.
It's not Batman
what
versus
sequence would you
Superman,
have killed him
is it?
then?
I think. Well, I understand that, but I think I know it's completely wrecking the film completely. But I think the script itself was awful anyway.
I thought the script was very poor.
I think because like you look at Superman as a character, he's very very fucking flawed in that he's kind of like. Sorry to use a wrestling analogy, but John Cena never loses a match and he hasn't changed his character for 8 years.
Yeah.
Superman, he never loses any battles. He always comes out of it on top. He's always kind of like this all-powerful being.
Yeah.
And they never make him never make him weak enough. Like even with the Krypton aspect, like he still like managed to pick up the spear and then he ends up being the one who kills Doomsday. And I think they should if they're going to make him look weak and make him a more interesting character, you've got to have that kind of dynamic where he's gone and it makes it a much more threatening kind of universe and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean all these analogies and parallels of him and a god. I mean they're thick, aren't they? They're very thick in that film. I mean I don't think there's one scene about Lex Luthor in any sort of sentence either expressing concern over a god, saying Superman is God, and also what pissed me off the most. I don't know if anyone noticed. I still can't understand how Lex Luthor found out he was Clark Kent. No. Does anyone ever? Do you guys?
That gets me onto another thing. Sorry to kind of take it away from that, but I don't think this film takes itself too seriously.
I think in Batman Incorporated does. I think Superman. I like the fact that how they do. The flaws of Man of Steel was the end of where he's just Superman wouldn't devastate anything.
Yeah. And
I like how in this film it's a subject of that the first hour.
It acknowledges the fact that Man of Steel was.
Yeah.
It showed that.
I mean, the Senator played by the woman who voiced Miss Incredible.
Oh yeah.
In The Incredibles. I thought she was really good at this. Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's really good in it. The scene where obviously at the Senate. I didn't know it was going to blow up. I didn't know that was going to be a bomb.
I thought it was a good scene, to be honest.
I thought
like that scene.
The guy who's in Monsters, that Dave pointed out in the cinema, he's always the...
he's always the victim, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good in Monsters. I thought there was...
I hate him.
Well, on the disabled guy.
Yeah, on set he had the legs CGI'd out, so everyone thought he was a Flash.
Yeah.
And it brings me on very nicely. The scene or the premonition, we don't know as of yet. The premonition, the dream sequence, the future sequence with Bruce Wayne... where Ezra Miller comes down as a Flash, or is it Cyborg? We're not too sure yet.
It's Flash.
Dave says it's a Flash. I'm not too sure.
Ezra Miller is been cast as a Flash.
Yeah, but I don't know how you can say that's a Flash.
Because it is the Flash.
How do you know?
Because the Flash... How can Cyborg come back in time and do that?
Because it depends who can send him back in time.
And also, it's in the script.
I've not read the script.
Mate, it is the Flash.
Well, I'm not...
He pulls up his mask as well.
I don't know if it was
either way, I don't think it matters. I think it's just the fact he's gone back in time and this happens.
Yeah, and then Bruce Wayne never, ever states anything to anyone. Oh, it's piss poor.
It just kind of happens, and it kind of it's almost just saying, "Look, this is going to happen in the future."
I think it brings us on best of the. Let's just talk about the shoehorn of the Justice League in this because we need to talk about this. It pissed me and Rob off so much.
First thing I came out of it thinking was this film. Most of this film was just a setup for Justice League.
It's a prologue, isn't it? It's a prologue.
And the thing is, as well, like Man of Steel was a prologue to this film, really, and it's a shit one. It's like it's a slightly shitter prologue to a kind of shitty prologue to a film which we're kind of always waiting with these films.
I mean, to sum up, like on IMDb, I know we keep on bringing it up, but I think it's a good thing to have a bit of a backstory to it. I mean, Batman Begins 8.3, Dark Knight 9, Dark Knight Rises 8.5, Man of Steel 6.9. There's a huge drop of filmmaking skill,
and even then, I think 6.9 isn't even deserved.
I think it's a good 7.
You say so? I'd give it a 6. Maybe.
Well, I mean, the fact that when Bruce Wayne sends Wonder Woman, I don't know what Wonder Woman's real name is, to be honest. It's never stated anyway.
Yeah, I think
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I mean, when he saw her at Lex Luthor's charity gig thing, that was quite good. I thought she was going to go off, and we saw her. That would be it. And he was taken back by this luscious woman who Gal Gadot who plays. I think is a really good choice. She's an Israeli as well, so it's not just this American woman playing. And I think that I like the fact that they've got a different ethnicity behind it.
Like in the battle as well. Like obviously, it's not like a kind of story-driven kind of thing, but the way they showed her, they didn't make her look kind of like a kind of necessity to, not necessity. Like they didn't make her like look like she was kind of like tagging along. Like I kind of expected that they would do.
Yeah,
she was just there, but then
she held her own, but I don't think she had much to do. But I mean, when she opens up the emails and then we see all these W, C, F, and then A, the the Aquaman one is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I just looked there going,
right,
really?
I disagree.
I love that scene. Really, the Flash one was piss poor. The Cyborg one was interesting, but they could have been viral campaigns. In fact, I would put money on them being viral campaigns. I hated it. I mean, the picture of 1918. I thought, right, interesting. Let's end that shit now. And it just reiterates
And
all
even
the
then,
time.
is that the picture of Wonder Woman?
Yeah, with Chris Pine.
It had Chris Pine in it. That's
Yeah.
all that was. That is that there. All those clips were there just to say. Come on, watch these films. By the way, these are happening.
It also had the French Moroccan actor on the left of Chris Pine, who's cast in the film as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that point where Bruce Wayne at the end of the funeral goes, "I've just got a feeling." I just felt myself, please don't do this, because I think halfway through the film, the first hour, I think when Batman first meets Superman as characters, that's an excellent scene. But I think it's the point where the Martha word,
Oh.
yeah. Why did you say Martha? That bit, that just changed the whole the whole genre, the whole sort of. It just changed the whole film for me. I mean, my dad always says that Public Enemies. There's a scene in that film where the film Michael Mann film where it just changes.
Yeah.
The camera changes. Everything's more like handheld. This film was completely two different films. It was dark in the beginning, and then they just brought loads of colour into it with Doomsday. And the Doomsday villain didn't do it for me.
He just kind of felt like a like Godzilla kind of.
Yeah. Did we not all think they were not gonna beat him? Do we not all go in that? I mean, I think they had balls killing Superman off, and Doomsday doing it, but then bringing him back 10 minutes later. Did we not all know that?
Yeah.
I would have liked them, like you said, they would have killed him earlier.
Yeah,
I think they would have just killed him throughout, and then we pick up the remains.
If you killed him earlier as well, I think it would have given Doomsday would have given him a bit more of a sense of danger, because he never felt in danger really.
Yeah,
it kind of just felt like Jesse has Lex Luthor kind of playing with them a bit and toying with them a bit, and then all of a sudden he's in jail and it's okay, he's done.
You know what pissed me off the most as well? I don't understand why Russell Crowe wasn't invited back to have a cameo.
Okay, yeah.
It would be pointless, wouldn't it?
Why? Because
what's the point of killing him as a dad if he can just go to that spaceship and be like, "Hey, Dad, space dad, how's it going?"
Why does he go to Jonathan Kent then?
Yeah, but that's a vision that he comes into.
Yeah.
He's not got technology that gives him that.
Kal-El's dead. Is it Kal-El? No, Jor-El's dead.
Yeah.
So the whole visions of him in the first one are not real.
Yeah, no, but the reason in the first one, it's got preset when it goes in there. It's not actually him. You realise that.
Yeah.
So it's a computer that he's preset
I understand
all these
that.
questions.
Yeah, he does die.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually go and speak to his other father.
Yeah, I understand that as well because he died in the first one. I do understand that. But what I'm saying is, what's the difference of the Russell Crowe scene if you're going to put that in there?
Because the Russell Crowe scene. Oh no, sorry, not the Russell Crowe scene. The other guy. He's the one that always believed that
Kevin Costner. Yeah,
Kevin Costner was always the one that believed that he would do good and all that, and it's part of a contradicting thing.
I just think it's shoehorned.
He's doing good, but everyone hates him for it.
I hated it.
Of course you did.
I would have much seen his actual father say that because his both fathers. His real father is biological, and then you've got his surrogate father, which is Kevin Costner. I think they both give him the same viewpoint in different terms. And to not include the contradiction, or even if Kevin Costner's going to agree with Russell Crowe's terms on it, I still thought you could have incorporated him. And there's one thing as well that I didn't like, is that how many dream sequences were in that film?
A fucking lot, yeah.
About 3?
It was so lucid at times, like it was absolutely ridiculous.
Another point, 2.5 hours long, and they still didn't manage to make enough of a fucking doubt in Batman's character to make it believable when the Martha thing happened.
Yeah.
How can you have a 2.5 hour long film and not be able to just even write a small little thing which would make Batman go into killing Superman have even a slightest bit of doubt which would be triggered by Superman saying Martha?
Yeah.
If they're going to have that happen there, or have something he says which makes him change his mind, has to be something in place before that to have him have a doubt in place where he might not kill him.
It does sound like we're shitting on the film. I just want to.
We should bring back to positives.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I mean. It's not. You're not going to go in there and you're not going to get a script by Tarantino or a beautiful direction by
As far as superhero films go, it's not the worst out there.
Oh no, it's not. It's nothing about Green Lantern. It's nothing on the terms of. I mean, it's very metallic looking.
It's significantly better than Man of Steel as well. I'd say. Do
you not find though that the first half of the film was very metallic looking? It was very black, very metal grey.
Yeah, I can see that.
General Zod inclusion of it, I don't know. I quite like it, but I think that was shoehorned again. The whole Doomsday thing, shouldn't that have been mentioned by, again, Jor-El in the first film? There's quite a lot of things in it that don't really add up. I mean, has anything got anything else negative about it? I mean,
There's a couple of things probably. I didn't really like the Martha thing, like you guys said,
Yeah.
but I could probably see it.
You can,
Probably see why it was included.
Yeah.
and you can see why it's included, but they could have done more. They had 2.5 hours.
I don't know, man.
In this film.
None of us can really comment on it. None of our mums have died at an early age from a
Yeah, I
guy who
agree.
got killed.
It is- yeah,
no,
that is
no
definitely
one,
a point,
no
yeah.
guy pulled a gun on my mum and killed her.
Yeah, I think that.
And I think if someone said my mum's name, as like I was about to like kill him or something and say,
Yeah,
like, can you help?
there'd be a shot in your heart,
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
there? Yeah.
I think
I think
you guys are taking it a little bit too
I
harshly.
think Dave's right in the emotional boundaries of it, the emotional stress of
I
Batman.
think it shows that
Yeah, I
Batman
think it's
has
well
that
done.
side.
It's done well, but they could have done it better.
It is very out of the blue.
It's definitely out of the blue. I'm
It's very
saying that, but I'm
shoehorned.
saying
Like
you
I said,
can.
there should have been that element of doubt going into it, where we can kind of think that there might be some doubt going into it. There's no need to surprise us there. There's no need to surprise us, and not that it's a surprise that because we all know he's not going to kill Superman.
Well, there's loads of things I still don't understand. For example, the whole film, the first half of the film is based on the conspiracy that Superman killed these people in Africa, when quite clearly he didn't because he doesn't have bullets. And then Lois Lane's then, and for some reason, like Lex Luthor works out that it's Clark Kent, Superman likes Lois. It's never ever explained.
Yeah.
But I always felt that the sequence where Batman's in the dystopian future, I really like that.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
Scene, yeah.
I really like that Superman comes down and he's fighting everyone and he's literally having to use
Everything's
guns.
gone to shit as well.
Yeah, and then these aliens come down. I really enjoyed that scene.
The only thing that, like you say, you really enjoyed that scene. I want to see that film. To be
Yeah.
honest, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's unfortunate that obviously it's alluded to that we might get that future. Will we? I very highly doubt it.
one thing I'd like to say, just like a mention.
No, we won't.
Superman's character. There's a video I would recommend watching on YouTube. Max Landis. He's a very, very good writer.
John Landis' son. Yeah.
Yeah, John Landis' son wrote Chronicle. He's very, very into his comic books. He knows a lot of shit about it, and he wrote like a little short film on his YouTube channel, Up to My Knees. It's about the death and return of Superman, and that is a really, really fucking good little piece that he's done there. I think that's something people
I'll
should
definitely
check
check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think honestly, if I was to choose someone to write that film, I would honestly trust him.
Well, it's interesting to that because I don't think anyone here is a Superman fan. I'm not. I've never liked the character. I've never I understand the George Reeves films and Richard Donner films are good. Never seen them. I don't have any
Originals.
intention of seeing them.
I've seen them. I quite enjoyed them as a kid, but I haven't seen them since I was a kid.
I've never
always
liked
been.
Superman.
I've always loved the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton films.
Man of Steel probably got it back in for me. Superman character. I didn't like the first couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
think
mean, what about Bryan Singer's Superman Returns? Have
No,
you
I
seen
didn't like
that?
that.
Like I say though, as I said earlier, Superman is a difficult character to like.
He is.
It's like
What
liking
common
the
have you
best.
got on with him? Yeah.
It's like being a football fan and supporting Man City, isn't it?
Well,
Well,
Barcelona.
not really.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean though. It's not supporting the best necessarily, but supporting the
You
one.
can't lose, can you?
It's supporting
That's what it
the
means.
supporting the one with the most means of success.
I
Yeah.
think you guys are judging the character mostly built on the films, when really, if you look into the literature of it, that he does get held back quite a lot. And
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's a comic book. I can't remember which one it is, where these white Martians come to Earth and they have to they like say they're going to help with the Justice League sort everything out, but then they end up being evil and they kill every single one of the Justice League, and they've got Superman hostage, like literally bloody nose and all that, and Batman saves the day. Luckily,
Yeah, as he would do. Ben Affleck.
when he says like Batman's the most dangerous person on Earth. I think that shows that in this film as well, because he actually does have him rights, doesn't he? He has him like ready to kill him.
I just think that the final act where Doomsday, what does Batman actually do?
No, not really.
He,
Not at
he
all.
shows his humanity a lot in that scene as well. Like it's like when him stuck with Wonder Woman and stuck with Superman, he shows how human he is.
I'm just going to find it really difficult for Justice League because I find the whole fact that Batman is again, men are brave.
Yeah.
It's reiterated all throughout humanity of men, and his thoughts and it's changed. But I just felt that sometimes it's like, what is he going to do against whatever's next? I mean, what's he going to really do? Whatever next?
I think you're.
I mean, the next closest thing to Batman vs Superman is the Avengers Assemble. Obviously, they're very two sides of the coin, but how would you put them two together? What would you What would
I
you
think
say?
you're rating Batman on the fact that you're comparing him to Superman. That's what a lot of people went into this movie saying, that there's like 600 different ways for Superman to kill Batman, but there's only 5 ways for Batman to finish Superman off. But we saw in this film, he actually wins against him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He can kill him. Superman, what you're saying, both of you, is that the indestructible man, if he can get to a point where he can kill him, but he doesn't because he says his mum's name or whatever, then what's stopping him from killing anything that comes?
Well, I just think the fact that Superman does come to him, Batman sets him up. Batman's trained.
Yeah, but that's the
it
point
shows
of
Batman
Batman.
is more intellectual.
That's the point.
No,
of
I
Batman.
liked it.
He's the more intelligent one. In the
I
Justice
liked
League,
it.
he's the intelligent one.
If anything, I thought it was very brief.
I guess it's the kind of Iron Man, isn't he? Like how Iron Man is the most powerful. They always say Iron Man is the most powerful.
Well, speaking of
Avengers.
which one would you compare to Avengers Assemble and this? Because it's the closest thing we'll
Batman
get to
versus
that.
Superman.
It's
You'd
Iron Man versus Thor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Batman
Or
versus Superman.
Captain America versus Iron Man. Would you probably
Because
say?
Iron Man can make any suit to kind of counter whichever hero, can't he? And how Batman
Yeah.
can do the same thing, but that's the kind of thing with Batman is he can make one suit to go against one person, but when something comes like Doomsday, he can't necessarily.
I when it came to the final scenes at the funeral, and they said they don't know how to bury him. It's like anything like a soldier. I didn't want the film to end. I really did enjoy it. There's loads of positives I can find in it. I love that the suit's dark. I love that the bat signal's chunkier. I mean, I didn't know if you noticed, but the building where Batman and Superman have a fight, that is Gotham PD headquarters, or what was left of it.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Batman signal's up there. If you're going into this to have anything with Suicide Squad, unfortunately you're going to be left.
So Suicide
red
Squad
first.
done before it. I assume that the Suicide Squad's done before it.
No, because
Is it
fewer
set
than
before it,
Batman would have. I think that there's a scene before it where Batman is obviously tracing Joker of the leaked photos.
They have
but I don't know the time.
They have the bat
thing.
suit, don't they, as well, with the Joker kind of writing on it.
That's not that.
No,
That's Jason
that's
Todd.
a Robin
Yeah.
statue that's been broken.
Oh,
They killed
okay.
him.
Right,
Yeah, that's Jason Todd.
right. Okay.
The Joker
Killed him.
or the
Right.
fan
Yeah.
theory that's believed is that Jared Leto's Joker
Yeah.
The
is
only-
actually.
I don't think it is, by the way. I think I can
it's
disprove
interesting.
that theory.
No, there's only one aspect of it where I think that we'll have to wait and see is where Bruce Wayne, in fact, states that how many good men are left, how many stayed that way.
You can disprove that theory, though. Sure.
Well, how then?
The Jason Todd theory,
Yeah, go on,
easily.
go on then.
Basically, in this theory, it says that the Joker, that Heath Ledger's Joker, is still turned him into another Joker. Yeah.
I don't believe that. They're two different universes.
Well, whatever. So another Joker has
Yeah.
turned him into this Joker.
I think we need to separate Nolan's trilogy from this because there's nothing. To do
Nolan's
with each other.
trilogy is.
Well,
is
there was
it's very
another
much-
theory
they're
about-
Nolan's films, aren't they? Really?
Yeah,
There was
there's one trilogy that Nolan's.
the Deathstroke theory.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys heard that, but
Yeah.
it's been disproved now.
I don't-
We
I
just
think-
watched
yeah,
the film.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Deathstroke one.
The Jason Todd one, basically, what I see it as is that they are rebooting this franchise and they do a Harley Quinn thing where, he's like dipping her into thing.
Yeah.
They do an origin story for her. You can't do that without the actual Joker.
Interesting. What's the Deathstroke theory?
The Deathstroke theory basically is
Batman.
that Batman, the guy who plays Batman, isn't Bruce Wayne. It's a guy called Deathstroke because of the grey hair.
Right.
It's a massive
Yeah.
fan theory, basically saying that the Christopher Nolan's universe and the Zack Snyder universe are the same universe,
Right.
and eventually, in this movie, the Christian Bale Batman would turn up, and then he would what's his face? Ben Affleck would be Deathstroke from then on because they wouldn't refer to him as Bruce Wayne, only as Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to go into any depth into any theories, and it doesn't really disprove or prove anything. I mean, obviously it disproves the Deathstroke one, which I don't really like anyway, because I think it just takes away from the film. Everyone who's in the film who plays in the film. I mean, there's no one really hidden characters. I mean, Jenna Malone was cast as Barbara Gordon, and her scenes were cut. So I don't really know where she could fit in. I mean,
I think there was too many characters anyway. Personally, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they had a 2.5 hour film, but didn't give enough time to any of the characters really.
I mean, like
Not enough time, but not enough.
Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 suffered from that.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, I don't think they suffered from that.
I think it suffered less.
I think that because there's more villains in this than Spider-Man 3, sorry. Because you've got Venom, Green Goblin,
Sandman.
and Sandman, that's 3. In this, you've got Lex Luthor, technically Doomsday, and technically Superman. I mean, essentially, and then you've got these little minions.
Right.
I think this was longer, had a little bit more development.
It was longer and had development, but like I say, I didn't think it. Considering it was 2.5 hours long, I think they could have done more. I think they could have done way more with that time that they had there. Like a lot of the things that happened didn't feel genuine, like the Martha thing. It didn't feel like genuine.
I agree.
It didn't feel, even though, as Dave says, the kind of loss of the mother thing. Even with that, I think it still suffered a bit from just how it was done. Really, I think they could have done it more. Could have done more for it. I should probably move on to some positives for myself, really.
Yeah, because I don't think you've stated any, to be honest.
Aesthetically, what they did at the budget, it was good. Very good. Like you can watch that film, and you can just sit there, you can turn your brain off, and it's a fucking like action wise, it's brilliant. Like the fight sequences, definitely with the one in the desert, not the desert, but when he has the dream sequence or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Really liked that. And the scene when he's rescuing Martha was good, even if it wasn't completely sold on the fact that he was rescuing Martha. But yeah, I didn't think it was terrible writing. I just thought it suffered a lot from. Yeah, it suffered a lot in that it was a 2.5 hour film and it didn't give enough depth, and they didn't go into enough to make things feel more genuine. And I don't know how they managed that, considering how it was 2.5 hours long. I mean,
I've just read an article here that Gal Gadot had 16 lines of dialogue.
Who was that?
Wonder Woman.
Okay, yeah.
Well, she's got her own film coming out now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking forward to that.
About 4 of those are in a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, she's got an integral part to it, nonetheless. Yeah. A minor character, I would say. Is she underused, or would you prefer to have not to been used at all?
Underused.
I think she's a little bit underused, but that's only because I think it's all mystery, but we all know who she is.
I think she's underused to the point where she didn't need to be in it. But I think if they actually paid enough attention to it, then they could have made it work.
What do you guys think of the nuclear explosion then? About the president on the line? Did you like that aspect that where Superman's...
It felt like a bit out of nowhere, really.
Well, I think not. I really did like the imagery of him regrowing himself. Like, I thought it was aesthetically really pleasing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But then again, I think it reiterates the point where we all knew if he could survive a nuclear explosion, and then obviously we all know that he gets his power from the sun, he absorbs it, and nuclear explosion, obviously that's going to help him. But the cut on his face lasted so long. I thought that he'd have gone like that and it would have healed or something. I did the motion of rubbing my face.
He cut it with pure kryptonite, didn't he? So
yeah, I mean, Lex Luthor's nature of being hostile to the Man of Steel, obviously Superman, because he was an alien. I think that's reiterated so many times in the film. I mean, like I said earlier about him portraying him as a god. There's very few times where you're not sat there going, okay, now, okay, I've done.
We get it. Let's calm down.
Yeah, like I said, I think the choreography for Batman's fight on Martha Kent's obviously rescue.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's what the Nolan series was missing.
Yeah, definitely the brutality of it. I mean, the way that he snaps people's arms, I thought was really good.
I really liked as well the line when the guy's like, "I'll kill her," and he's like, "I know," and he like shoots her. Is that I know?
I believe you.
I believe you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then obviously Martha Kent. I'm with you, so he's like, I guess the cape, and then Batman like slowly nods. Yeah. I felt they summed up. I mean, there's a little bit of humour in it as well. He goes, obviously when the plane goes down, he's like, shit. I felt that really sort of like gave some humour to it. If you're looking for like, a little bit like the Nolan trilogy had little tiny moments.
Yeah.
This has probably less.
Yeah.
It's very like you said earlier.
It's
a very serious nature. Yeah.
I think, especially with Lex Luthor's character, he wasn't funny to me at all. There was no lines where I was like, oh, he's quite.
No, I thought when he's flirting or getting into the senator's head, I thought sometimes he was quite good. But she obviously gave back at him. I think it became more of a battle than a comedic route. But I thought the minor character was really good.
Okay.
I thought that Holly Hunter was really good in this film.
Yeah, I agree actually. I think because she could have easily just been lost in that.
Yeah.
How early she died, and she could have easily just been. She's here for a bit and then she disappears.
Well, all them people were killed in a terrorist attack, presumably.
Yeah.
It's not once said again in the film.
No.
So there must be something in that film where I think the editing was quite poor as well, because there's so many questions now to be asked that don't need to be asked. Like, the questions it needs to be asking is, oh God, 1918, she's been around. But then she tells you she's been around 100 years. Yeah. She's told us that she's left. We don't need to know that.
They say that, but they didn't answer that question because there's a solo film coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So leave it to the solo film.
Exactly. They didn't. You said that you have to ask questions now.
No, I meant about the Justice League, not about their actual characters.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing of Bruce Wayne, I've just got a feeling. It's like, again, I keep on bringing this up because I just don't think it's so. Like you said,
I think the way that that's cut though is that
it's poor, very editedly poor.
No,
yeah.
the way that bit's cut where he goes like, I just have a feeling. You don't know if that's before or after he goes and visits Lex Luthor. If it's after, the funeral's after that.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes up to him and he goes like, oh, the bells rang, the god's dead. That's the reason he has the feeling.
I mean, the Lex Luthor Batman scene right at the end just reminded me of Batman Forever, where Batman goes to meet the Riddler.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman goes to see the Riddler, and the Riddler's like, "I'm the Batman" by Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It just became cheesy. I mean, if you're gonna, I think it's.
I like that bit. I think it showed that Batman's back because he didn't. He didn't. Was it? He didn't. No, he didn't.
Stab him
he did it to his.
He didn't burn him, did he? Yeah, the branding sequence is really strange. Yeah.
If you want to see a very dark Batman, there's a cartoon, a version of it called the Flashpoint Paradox.
Okay.
That is where the Flash goes back in time and knocks everything slightly. And instead of Thomas Wayne getting killed, Bruce and Martha get killed.
Oh, wow, I like that.
And then Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, but I don't give a fuck. He doesn't start off with this like, I'm not going to kill. He kills straight away.
Yeah. I mean, there's a really good Mark Millar comic who wrote Kick-Ass and obviously Kingsman, who did an alternate universe Superman. That Superman didn't land in Kansas. Yeah. He landed in St. Petersburg.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard.
And obviously, he must have either landed in the 70s or the 60s. And you got the Cold War, and what is that? And then instead of the Superman logo, he's got the sickle. Yeah, give that a read. It's really good. I've read it a few times. It's really good.
It's also covered slightly in Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah,
where he doesn't crash in Kansas. He crashes, and the government find him first.
Yeah.
What's the animated one? What's the new animated film coming out, which is R-rated? Isn't there a new animated Batman coming out or something like that?
They did the Dark Knight Returns in the Frank Miller comic.
There's if you want to see,
that's what it's
if you want to see what the Justice League film's going to be like, watch the Justice League War.
Right.
That's what I feel like the next thing's going to be Darkseid, the Superman thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's probably going to be because the painting at the end that shows that.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah, quite.
So yeah, if you want to see what the Justice League film is going to be like, you'd watch that.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, I mean, I enjoyed the film. It felt like a bit of a... I mean, I've not really got much to say about it anymore.
What would you say, though? Would you say... Because, obviously, like I've said, it's there was a lot of things kind of saying, stick around, because Justice League's coming soon. Are you excited for Justice League?
No.
Yes.
I'm not... the ones I'm excited for, I think the Wonder Woman, if it's done by a woman director and it's got a little bit of grit to it, I think that'll be good. The Aquaman, I'm not interested in, because I just think that it was shoehorned in.
I'm scared that might be another Green Lantern.
Yeah, I really am. The Flash one, I think we've got to wait and see for that.
I think they shouldn't do the Flash film. I don't know. You guys never watched the Flash TV show, but
Ezra Miller,
so good.
Ezra Miller, who plays him, is the first openly gay comic book actor to play a comic book character.
Is Ezra Miller the one in When You Talk About Kevin?
Yeah,
he's really good.
He's really dark in it.
I'm quite looking forward to that, actually. Yeah.
And then there's the Cyborg, but I don't think Cyborg will get his own film. Yeah. I mean, that one was a little bit like focused more of his creator. Yeah. And that black box, Jesus, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it was technology. It's his father's technology.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just...
I mean, I'm not going to go into it. I don't know everything about comic books and stuff like that. I haven't actually ever read a comic book.
I mean, I've read a few comic books. I mean, I think Batman's my favourite character. Is he done justice in this film? Ironically, with the Justice League title. Yeah. People keep on forgetting that it's not Batman vs Superman. It's Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
And I think you need to reiterate the second heading of that film, because it is the dawn of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's very shoehorned in aspects.
Dawn of Justice as a title. It's literally just saying what the film's about. It's saying this is setting up Justice League.
I mean, what comes next on the? I mean, Suicide Squad comes next.
I'm quite looking forward to Suicide Squad. Actually.
Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman film, and then the Justice League film. Part 1, and then Part 2.
Which one is the Flash?
Oh,
I think the Flash comes out in 2017.
I mean, I'm very looking forward to see this Batman. If that's directed by and wrote by, I can see that. There's rumours about Matt Damon being a Green Lantern as well, which I must put this. That's got to be the worst rumour casting I've ever heard.
One thing I will say, this is kind of completely off topic, and I'm sorry, Dave. Do you think that the Dark Knight trilogy will ever get made? Do you think a director like Christopher Nolan would ever get put in charge of a comic book film ever again?
I think he'll do it, but it'll be on his terms, and he won't. I think he's got.
I don't necessarily mean just Nolan. I mean like anyone of that caliber as a director.
Such a wide
you
know
what I mean?
I think that you can. I think, unfortunately, and this is the irony of the whole origin story of Batman. I think he could have done Batman Begins better. The Dark Knight. I was just saying in my head. I was saying in my head when we were watching the film. I think that film, watching Batman vs Superman, made me appreciate The Dark Knight even more because The Dark Knight, the script is so solid.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't watch The Dark Knight because I've seen it so many times. It's encaved in my head, that film. And the Dark Knight Rises, I think it's got some flaws. Overall, it's quite a good film. This one just felt like, with the Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, it felt human. In this one, it did feel off the page.
Yeah,
I feel like if you put,
but that's Zack Snyder's style. Like you've got to talk about if you're on about that caliber again.
I don't necessarily mean caliber. I mean creative freedom for the director.
So do you think? So you're asking? Do you reckon Christopher Nolan would come back to the fold?
I'm asking. Do you think a director will ever be put into be given a role or given a role as a director and told do what you want of it?
No, because you can't. You've got to be. It's law, isn't it?
I mean,
what
Nolan is the one who's had the most freedom from what I can see. As a director.
I see. Yeah, I think that Nolan was. I think Nolan was given the thing with the Batman Begins. Make it solid. Whatever you do, and if it comes out success, you take it away with it. Zack Snyder is unfortunate. Had to have an origin story with Man of Steel. Yeah. And then he's had to make this film.
An origin story for Justice League, arguably.
Yeah. Again, it's just origin. Where Christopher Nolan got out of the bag with that. I think he's still stuck. I mean, Zack Snyder's a director. I mean, he's very good at visionary comic book panels in this film.
What's he done outside of Man of Steel?
So Watchmen, which is probably the best comic book movie ever made. Sugar Punch, which is an absolute piece of shit. Dawn of the Dead remake, which is quite good. And then he did an Owl animated film.
So he is quite... He's not he's not necessarily consistent with it, but he's good at adapting.
The visionary director, he's very good at vision. Like how he can get films to be like Watchmen's like panel off the panel, so is 300. Yeah. But when he hasn't got source material like The Dawn of the Dead and like Watchmen, he makes films like Sucker Punch, are just style over substance. And in this film, he's taking so much inspiration, like Dave said, of all these films that I think he doesn't really know what to do, and he like you said, he's thrown all this shit in. And do you
think he needs a better writer?
I think David S. Goyer wrote it because he obviously works for Warner Brothers. I would love to be this fly on the wall and have a look how much Ben Affleck had to have a little bit of a go in it.
See how much he put into it himself.
Well, apparently he was just sat on in his Batman suit, just like looking at the scripts, rewriting it.
Yeah, but I mean, Ben Affleck is absolutely outstanding. I really did enjoy his role in this. The whole Lawrence Fishburne, and then we haven't talked about Amy Adams in it yet. I mean, we'll talk about Amy Adams, and we're gonna have to end this.
I honestly thought Lois Lane as
she's a damsel in distress in my opinion.
It was literally instantly one of her first kind of scenes in the film is her just in the bath. Why did she need to be in a fucking bath? Like,
I feel like
that was ridiculous. Yeah,
just an object.
She was an object there.
Literally, all she was there was to continue the story of Superman and be the love interest, and that's nothing else that she did in that film.
I think you could have cut her out completely.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. Amy Adams is an Oscar-nominated actress.
Yeah.
Might even be an Oscar winner. Yeah. I think she's fantastic in films where she can actually give, like The Fighter, she gives Pan the Pump, but she's got some fight in the role.
Yeah.
And this, I don't like, but then again, if you're incorporating men as brave, like Bruce Wayne is all over the film, Batman, surely then the human spirit should be involved there, and they don't really give any. I mean, there's one thing I'd like to end on, and it's quite a serious note. The opening of the film opens in Metropolis, where Bruce Wayne is in the whole wreckage of the Zod and Superman, and going into that, I'd heard reviews and things, and I think the whole 9/11 terrorist aesthetic to that is so well done. I mean, that is the World Trade Center film Oliver Stone should have made, where Bruce Wayne, I mean, except for the car chase sequences, but when he's running through the the dust cloud, and the man's doing the prayer, and the guy at the name Jack, and he gets the guy who obviously eventually becomes.
The guy gets arrested first.
Miles. I think it's Miles Kane. I think it's Miles Kane. Not his name. I think that's really well done. I think it's a really powerful opening. But that's the opening that it should have been done without the shit with the prologue story. So that's about it for me. Overall, I really enjoyed the film. It's got its weak links, definitely. I mean, it's not as meaty as it should be, like you said, Rob. I mean,
I agree with
overall, just how did you guys think of it?
I did enjoy it, but there was some parts. The Lois Lane parts were so pointless. Even in the ones where she justifies herself by diving into that thing. She's the thing that put the spear in there in the first place.
Yeah,
I was so expecting an Aquaman appearance there.
Yeah, I was as well. I've got to admit, just reaching out of it.
So overall, what did you
think,
think, Dave? Like,
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you enjoyed it.
I don't know, you guys probably.
I didn't love it. I liked it. Would I watch it again? Definitely. Would I watch it in 3D? Definitely not. I think that there's still got a way to go to make that.
I kind of wish
film.
I would have waited. If I could do it again, I know it sounds like a thing, but I know that Justice League's going to come out. Yeah. I wish I could watch that and Justice League back to back.
Okay, yeah.
But the splitting back to back.
Yeah, no, what I mean is go straight from the Batman vs Superman thing straight into the Justice League film.
That's 7.5 hours probably. That is like.
Man, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is, would you watch it again? Then?
Yeah.
I think I might do in preparation for Justice League.
I'd own it. I'd definitely buy it on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I think
it was excellent.
Personally, I think overall for it, I don't think it's a bad film. I don't think it was like awful or anything. It's not. I'm not going to look at it and think that's in the category of Daredevil and Catwoman. Obviously, it's going to have to do a fucking good job of being shit to be that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it was too conscious of the fact that it was going to be making Justice League, and I think everyone knows Justice League's going to happen. It didn't need to necessarily shoehorn in all these kind of different things, and I think that was too much of a focus on the film rather than actual adding depth to what's actually happening in the story, and I didn't like that about it.
I think that's a good place to end it then with all our opinions. Thank you very much for watching. But the reason why we did a spoiler review is obviously time is at the essence now, unfortunately, because we all go home tomorrow. Yeah. And unfortunately, we can't do two.
Well, some of us go home in about 5 hours.
Yeah, this length is about 50 minutes. We might cut down a little bit.
I think we'll definitely potentially do
another one. Yeah,
another spoiler cast. I think this could be its own separate series away from the Moviebusters.
Yeah, I mean it'd be incorporated on the page, but this will be a straight out review. Yeah. I mean, will we do Hail Caesar? Probably not. We'll definitely. I think it's too late for Hail Caesar. I think we'll do Suicide Squad.
When that comes out, I'd like to do Suicide
Squad. I think we will do. And the Justice League, that's yet to be confirmed. I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't think
the Suicide Squad film's going to be that good. But
I think it'll be really good.
I'm looking forward to it. Is it David Ayer?
Yeah, if they can make, what's his face? The guy who played Bruce Willis's son in Die Harder, the Aussie kid.
Right.
No one know his name?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, if they can make him have a personality in a film, they'll do some well with him.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Jared Leto can do with the Joker as well.
That's the one I'm most worried about. I really am.
I rate Jared Leto as an actor.
Oh no. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Dallas Buyers Club, one off. There we go. Breaking for a Dream. I think he's carried by his cast. Thank you very much for listening. Again, follow us on Twitter with our links. Dave wants an argument on Twitter apparently.
If you've seen it as well, let us know what you think on Twitter.
Tweet me. Yeah. Tell me Leicester's going to win the league and I'll destroy you.
Yeah, Tottenham are the best. Yeah, so we'll continue probably with the Moviebusters next week. We haven't. We'll probably get the.
This will come out before the book.
Yeah, so they'll probably get this led at episode 3 surely. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed what we did at 4 a.m. Remind you.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Some of us have got to go catch a train.
For all 5 viewers out there.
Calm down. Don't call us out.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye.